Welcome to MRU E-Learning powered by Malla Reddy University. Myself, T. Krishnamurthy, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology. Today, we are going to learn about Introduction to Unity Basics. So, before going to learn Unity Basics, you need to know what is a game development engine. Right? What is a game development engine? So, because everyone in their childhood has played different games. Even though nowadays also we are playing different games, but how they are going to develop, in which platform they are going to develop, what they are going to use in the background to develop the games. So that we are going to call it as game development engine. So where it is a software like a platform, it is having all the frameworks, related frameworks available so that we can be able to build, test and develop different kinds of types of games. So just like one of the different engines are Unity, CryEngine, Real, Unreal. So these are the different engines that are available to develop different games. Now we are going to learn one of the most important game development engine is Unity. Right. So before going to learn about the Unity basics, what is a Unity development engine? So Unity development is a game development platform where we can be able to develop different games or build and test different types of games. That is 2D games, 3D games, as well as virtual reality games. So, in order to develop a game, we need to have an editor. Just like if you want to write any code related to a particular program, you need to have some editor so that we can be able to type that program and we can get the actual result. So in the same way, if you want to develop any program, any games, so we are going to use one editor. That editor, we are going to call it as Unity Editor. So it is a main workspace where we are going to create different kinds of games. It is just like a film studio where predefined, like lights are there, camera is there, and seatings are there, and different types of objects will be there. So just we will use that kind of objects and we will develop different kinds of games. And second one is navigating Unity Editor. It is just like our HTML page, hyperlinks, where if we click on one link, it is going to navigate from one page to another page. In the same way, the games will be developed in such a way that level 1 will be there, level 2 will be there, like that. So after development, in that we are going to call it as scenes. So scene 1 is there, which is we are going to call as level 1. Scene 2, we are going to call it as level 2. Right. So all these scenes, so the game of one by one, the scene need to be traveled from one scene after completion of one level to another level, it need to be traveled. Scene hierarchy. So all the objects that are related in the game, just like it is like a parent-child kind of relationship. Just like a parent kind of relationship, the entire objects that are there in the scene. So let us consider an example of related to a temple run game, which has been developed by the Unity engine, where this scene consists of a fellow who is traveling from one path, started from one path, and he need to be traveled to the destination. In that, lot of obstacles will be there. After this scene, he will enter into another scene. So in that scene, all the objects, so if the person is moving in such a way that, and we can see the objects which are well organized, well structured and well organized are also moving from one, if he moves from one place to another place, the objects related to the particular area will move like that. So just like, suppose if we place a book on the table, okay, if we place a book on the table, if we move the table from one position to the another position, just like this, the book that we placed in the table will also get moved with the table. Just like scene hierarchy. Next, game objects. So, suppose this is the scene that you are going to consider, or this is the scene that you are going to develop for one particular game. right? This is game 1. So if we place one player like this is one player, and here we are going to call this one as one object, and an enemy will be there. So we can call this one as enemy, and this enemy is also an object. And if we place one gun here, this is also an object. The person who comes and picks the gun and kills the enemy, that we are going to call the entire scene, the entire one, we are going to call as the game itself is an object. The game itself is an object. It is just like a human body. Suppose a human body is there. We are having different organs, that is eyes to see, ears to hear, mouth to talk. So if you are not having these kind of things, these are called as objects. If we are not having these, the body does not have any use, right? In the same way, we need to construct different types of objects so that each and every object that are there in the scene has some particular use. Transformation. Next one is transforms. So the transform is nothing but, so consider an object has been placed in the table, right? Whether it might be a small object, whether it might be large object, it doesn't matter. An object has been placed on the table, right? Suppose the direction represents the rotation of the object, the size represents the scaling of the objects, and where we have placed, okay? Suppose in which direction we have placed, it represents the rotation. Consider in the same way, a scene is there in the game, a player is playing. Suppose if he moves from left to right, or if he jumps and rotates, it will call rotation. And whenever he got a food, his size gets increased, and he constantly changes from one place to another place. So this is called transformation. Components. So suppose for a scene, consider a game, there is one level, consider it as a level 1, one player is there, okay, and different types of objects has been placed. And this every object, we are going to call it as a component, okay, a component that has a specific feature. Right? Because suppose if a player picks up the gun and it need to be triggered. If it triggered and it need to be fired. So if the functionality does not work, so the concept of placing an object does not satisfy. In the same way, suppose consider a mobile phone. We are having different apps. So music app is there to play music. Camera app is there to capture the photos or to record the videos. In the same way, different components have different functionality to perform in the game. C# and Unity. Suppose we are having two numbers, 2 and 5, right? Suppose I will say perform addition. It doesn't perform directly an addition. We need to write some logic so that the 2 plus 5, we are going to get 7. So this logic we are going to write with the help of some program like A is equal to 2, B is equal to 5, and then store the result, that is A plus B here. We will write in the programming part. In the same way, if we design a scene, a player is there, if he has to move forward or backward, or if he has to jump, move forward, backward or jump, so we need to write different types of programming, so that if you press one key, suppose we have seen lot of games like A, S, W and D. So if we press D, he will move forward. If you press A, he will come backward. So in the same way, so the functionality what we have designed to press the key, in the back area, we are going to write some code. We are going to write some code. That code we are going to use here is C# programming language. Okay? In Unity, we are going to use C# programming language for the controlling of gaming behavior. Mono behavior. It is just like a base class for the C# program. It is just like a basic class. Suppose we are having a remote. All the remotes are same. All the remotes having the same kind of keys. So, like just if you press one key plus volume button, so it is going to increase the volume. If you press minus button, if it is going to decrease the volume button. Suppose channel button is there. So, it triggers like whatever the key that you are going to press in the remote control, that it triggers some functionality to be happen. So, in the same way, whatever the objects or whatever the things you are going to create, it will have definite different functionality and the behavior. That behavior we are going to determine in the base class of a C# program. Next, game object interaction. Just I'll explain one simple example where we will go to the door. Okay? We will go to the door. And if we press the key and opens, what it is going to happen? It opens the door. Or if we go in front of the door and if we close the door, what it is going to happen? It is interacting with us. If we want to open, it will open. If we want to close, it will close. In the same way, whatever the objects that you are going to create, okay, whether it might be the player, whether it might be the gun, whether it might be any other objects that you are going to play, it will interact with one another. It will interact with one another, and depends upon that user input, it is going to perform some actions. Next. So, this is all about the Unity basics you need to learn before going to develop any simple game. Right. Thank you.